Hey folks, how y'all doing out there? Gonna do a quick little check-in with our Paladin from Diablo Season 4, and oh, by the way, I hope y'all had a good New Year and celebrated safely with your friends and family, and just had a beginning of a new year for us all. And anyway, it's been about 3 weeks roughly since the start of the season. So the Paladin seems like a pretty good class. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves, because probably when the next season starts, they'll nerf it or something. But pretty much everybody who did the pre-order for the new expansion that's playing the Paladin is loving it, and myself included. But we're going to do a little rundown of a couple things here and there. Let's see, what shall we do first? We got a Helltide for 27 minutes. We could do a dungeon. Yeah, let's do a dungeon real quick. So, just a quick look at some of the gear I've got. I didn't really get to show you most of this, but what you do is when you come over here to the blacksmith and you get a piece of gear that you really like, you're going to go to your tempering and you're going to put whatever you chose on there. So like for instance here I put the Holy Light Aura potency on anything that's not a unique, because unfortunately you can't do your uniques that way. So anything that I could put it on there, the Holy Light Aura, because that's one of our key features of this build that I have. And then on my weapon I can put Holy Damage, because our Holy Light Aura does Holy Damage, and Holy Damage is considered like a damage over time effect. But one of the very first things that made this build good was this shield that I found. This is not the shield I found, but this is the ancestral version of it. But it was because I'm running a Juggernaut build. The Juggernaut core skills are empowered, dealing 70% increased damage to the first enemy hit, and storing the damage dealt to that target up to 10 times. And then Fortress unleashes this stored damage to all enemies in the area, so it kind of gives it like a little AoE burst off of it. And then the other good thing I found was these gloves, because Holy Light's passive, which is my little aura that I have around me, it deals fire damage every second around me. Each time an enemy dies with this aura, its damage is increased by 50% for 15 seconds. So that also helps too. And then I've got the Mantle of the Grey, which Juggernaut Oath makes my Juggernaut skills 20% larger, but consumes resolves equal to my maximum resolve, I'm assuming, granting 6.9% increased Juggernaut skill damage with each point consumed. And then when I sanctified it, it added this: when I cast a skill, I heal for life, double this bonus while below 50% life. So it's like working really good. And then these gloves here, Holy Light's passive now deals... Oh no, I already did look at that. I'm sorry. I thought I had another unique on, but I don't. But anyway, and as always, you're always looking for better versions of these gears. Once you start getting, like this is Ancestral 1 star, or whatever they consider that, you can get up to all 5 of your aspects, or your stats here, like to be passives. Like this one's got 2, that one's got 3. So if I could find like a 3 or higher on this one, then that'd be perfect. So the highest one I've got right now is a 3 on my character. I've got some other stuff, but anyway,
What will it be?
So you'll want to do your tempering, put that on there. Then you're going to do your masterworking, which upgrades the quality of the item up to 25. But sometimes when you sanctify, like on this one, it says plus 18 item quality. So it increases it now to 43 quality. So up to 25, so it looks like you can get up to 50, which would put it at, I think, like these stats are yellow, I think it turns them orange. I could be wrong, I really haven't seen it. Like that one's orange, which is probably like way above, because normally it says damage 33 to 40%, and I'm at 57.8. So it probably puts it at the highest possible. Anyway, so let's go do a little dungeon real quick and kind of show you what this does. So some of these, like right now, this week, up till the 6th, I think, which is usually every Tuesday they redo stuff. So up until Tuesday, we're doing this goblin event thing down here. And then, if you come over here into Kiovashad, you got this altar of the goblins. So I've already completed it, but then you can keep getting more and more of these. So every time you kill a goblin, it applies points to this, and then you can just do this infinitely. And you only do that one time, so it doesn't matter how many characters you make. You can only do it on, you know, even if you made 5 characters and did it, it would just build up on its own. But the seasonal rewards that we have, those can be done separately on individual characters. Or no, I'm sorry. Not that. It's this dude over here, the Heavenly Forge thing. Sorry. I stand corrected. The seasonal builds with all your characters. But this individual thing here with him, the Divine Favors, you can do this with each character. So if you know, once I've done this, you can still build up the infinite, but if you wanted to go back and start getting like extra of these certain items, you can go back and get stuff like that for your class. So if you wanted to make Sorcerer or Barbarian, whatever you want to do. Anyway. We're going to go do a Nightmare Dungeon. And normally when we do this, I'll pretty much not have to press any skill. You won't see me use any skills. Occasionally, maybe only depending on the situation. We are in Torment 3, so that can be a factor. But on these Nightmare Dungeons, each of them have different little affixes. And the ones I usually like try to get are like materials or gems or equipment, something like that. Forgotten Wisdom gives you XP. Heraldic Strongroom will give you the extra little place you can go into. The thing they introduced, I think, in last season, where you go into this separate little room from the dungeon, and then it's like a timed thing. You have so much time to complete, try to collect, kind of like the Undercity, those of you that know what that is. So we're just going to do this one here. So anytime you do a Nightmare Dungeon, it takes a regular dungeon, just upgrades it a little bit, and then you go in there and just, there's no time limit on the dungeon, so you can take your time, try to complete it, because this is usually where you get your Obdicite, which is for your master crafting. And you see that little flash of light there, that's telling me that somewhere in that direction is the Heraldic Strongroom. So all I'm doing is walking around, not even casting any skills. So there's our little thing to our Heraldic gateway. So we'll get first defeat these little phases of enemies. And this reminds me of my Barbarian from last season. They gave us those special powers. basically I could just walk around. I was casting my shouts, and every time I casted a shout, my dust devils went all over the place. So it was just a consistently, and I never could be crowd controlled, and I loved it. And once I kind of got this build going, I mean, there's probably better builds out there for different what you want to do. But once I got this build going, I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. So, I did start a barbarian, and he's not up here as far as this guy is yet. So. Alright, so in a Herodic Strongroom now, being that this is a higher level one in a Nightmare Dungeon, you got to pick 3 of the statues, and you can pick any 3, so you just kind of see what each of them do. So here we get, once we get up to upgrade 3, which is over here, a special demon's going to pop out, which is usually like kind of like a boss type creature. And then 25% speed pillar ritual, but we take damage near pillars. This one you're going to have to carry something around, and it only drops when we use a potion, which I don't do, so I'm not worried about that. Just make sure you don't grab the one that like slows you down. So we'll do that one, and yeah, we'll do this one. Okay, so once we pick our 3, unlocks the door. Now we have 100 seconds. Main thing we need to focus on many matches. These things right here. I don't like this little sword. That's some kind of effect the creature has where this sword will follow me around. Now once you clear it, you see it turn gray. Move on to your next one. Well, there I just cast that just so that we clear out faster time. And we're going to be up to 3 here. There it is. Sometimes I basically keep on those things. Get it. Now you can repeat them, so it isn't like a one-time thing. So some swords all the time. I only cast that skill just to give me movement speed. Doesn't look like I can hit it this time. Furnace plethoras, but that's okay. You don't get as much out of these. You got the 5. Just once you hit 6, the boss spawns, and then even if you run out of time, the boss spawns. So, not a big deal. And then once you kill the boss, then you get this right here. So it gives us a lot of Obdicite. Really only interested in the Ancestrals. The rest of them, they're just going to be broken. Oops, don't forget that. The rest of them will just be broken down. Legendaries, if you don't pick them up, they do get sent to your stash, if you will. First. We slayed enough enemies to get the match. Just gotta run the time out. Kinda wish that they would fix that. Where, like, once if you complete the mastery before the time, just run the time out on that. Wow, that means less XP. Yeah, but you're trying to get through a dungeon quickly. Last thing that makes your time. But that's just same But that's on any event. Like they do that. Like if you master it, it should just, like I say, be an automatic. Here you go.
I expect you to eat that.
I'm done with that. Alright, so it looks like we killed the 2 things necessary to move on to the next section. That'll be up here. And then we have to travel to the... down there. And travel to the next section. And then we gotta return the bloodstones to the place. Alright, this one's got the 3 in it. I remember this one. So they're all split off into 3 different directions. Kill 6 of, or well, destroy 6 of these little things pop up. Well, like I said, the same thing. If I destroy 6 of them, just bump me up. Da 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 da. What do they call these? The AFK builds. Some people call them. Where it's like, I don't even have to move around. I just move around, but I could probably just stand still. I just stand still. Just watch what this does. This is like, it's crazy. And it's, you know, some people might be like, wow, you know, it takes the fun out of it if you're just going to stand there and do this. And yeah, I mean, there's, if you like the challenge, you want to fight enemies for a little while. Because that's what you do at the beginning of it. You know, it's like, okay, I want to get past all that. I want to get through these. Spend 12 hours playing Diablo. I was younger, I would. Alright, there's our first bloodstone. Center room. There it is. So we got 3 different spots. Here's one. And yeah. So each of them are kind of like one north, one west. Once you've run this dungeon enough. Now, killing all the enemies will give us more off the site in the long run. But you don't have to. Unless they change that. You know, last season, they were like, run your nightmare dungeons. Because then you'll get more off the site. But it seems like the materials are pretty plentiful. This season. I know last season it was gold that I was having issues with. I had plenty of materials. But your Obdicite, a lot of times you'd have to run pits or nightmare dungeons to get them. And now it's like, I got a bunch of them. Once I wore down his barrier, he was pretty much a nothing. Pretty much a nothing. So that's pretty much that. There's still a couple things that I think I'm struggling with. Is like Uber Lilith is pretty rough, and that's not because I can't kill her. It's just her AOE effects are really rough. And once you start getting up into like your torments, threes and stuff, your resistances start dropping. So, and then see, this is what they do when you don't pick them up. They'll just drop them in there for you. And then I've ended up getting this thing here. I'm trying to find a way to work it into my build. Because it gives me 160 at all stats, so not only will it do my strength, but it'll do all my other stuff. And then, but I'll lose my legendary aspect on here, which is my distant enemies have to be stunned. Not a big deal, because the only reason why I'm running that is it works with this and this, so it's like when there's so many enemies that are close to me to stun them, and then that kind of just ideal 32% increased damage to stunned or knocked down enemies. That's the only reason why I'm running it. I don't have to. So I'll probably play around with that, try to get it where I need it, and then you know, once I masterwork it, sanctify it, probably be pretty good. But the lucky hit thing is like I have a chance to deal shadow damage and reduce their damage. So pretty good one. And then I ended up getting an amulet that was like a mythic, ancestral mythic. But I think I'm saving that for my, I got it on my barbarian because it's a really good one. Works well with what he's doing. But yeah, that was just a little preview or update, if you will, on our barbarian, or on our paladin. So, yep. And then one thing that's also helping is these here. 5 is as high as you can get, so I'm still working on some of these. And you have to do certain excuse me, you have to do certain events, like this one we have to do Undercity, this is the Overworld, this is the Pit, which I've already maxed it out, and then that's Hell Tides, same thing. So it's like on this one, I could switch it with this, but it's like, this just refills my potion, so I think that's a little bit better, and it gives you the experience globes. This one will drop gems, so if you're looking to, like, you need more gems to upgrade your gems. This one always gains extra upgrade in the Pit, which is good for leveling out your Paragon glyphs. Vanquish the Pit to earn an excessive amount of gold, so if you're one that need a lot of gold, you do that, vice versa. So they each have their little different rewards on what you want to do with your build. So play around with it, see what you can do if you're interested in playing the game. But yeah, so just drop this in, and then as usual, thank you all for watching. Hope you're having an awesome day out there, and we'll catch you in the next one.